if you haven't heard of the company Ragnar Games, I don't blame you. Until today, neither have I. But I have Mr. Phill here, who is Ragnar Brothers. You know, there are two brothers and somebody who's no brother. Mr. Phill is the big brother of Ragnar's brothers, and he knows everything there is to do about anyways, which is, I believe, it is a departure for from the sort of games that you have designed in the past.
Indeed, yes. The vast majority of our games are historical games, Vikings, Industrial Revolution, things like that. Whereas this is very abstract and, you know, is a word game.
Okay, it's a word game. I'm dyslexic. I am not. I don't get along well with words. You know, I can. Everything looks pretty Welsh to me. Let's put it that way. So, what is anyways all about? How does it use words? How does it use vowels and consonants? Tell me about anyways.
The way that, as the overview of anyways, the idea is the box. As the game goes on, each player in turn is placing one letter at a time.
Okay.
So, for those who struggle with their words, you haven't got as much to think about as you have with something like Scrabble. And you start off with the basic letter on the board, which is always a vowel in the centre square, in this particular case E. And around that, each person is then going to try and construct words. The huge difference to most of the other word games I've come across is that, title of the game, you can create your words in any direction you wish. So you can have the words left to right, right to left, top to bottom, bottom to top, diagonal in any order. The main rule being that the letter you've placed has to be part of that word.
Now, you were mentioning earlier as well that because of frustrations with the way that vowels and consonants are distributed with other word games, no names mentioned. You decided to do something slightly different about it. How does it work?
Right, well, I mean, that arose from my brother. Spent several weeks with looking after seeing his daughter in hospital, playing a lot of word games, and being a Ragnar, got thoroughly frustrated when you draw 6 or 7 vowels in a hand or 6 or 7 consonants.
Yes.
The beauty of this is that we have the 2 colours of bag. We have vowels in the yellow bag, consonants in the blue bag. So after the game is underway, it's entirely up to you whether you take a consonant or a vowel each time, like Richard Whiteley used to be on Countdown with Carol Vorderman, so that you can actually manage the hand of tiles you've got in front of you. So you can't get yourself stuck like you can in others.
Okay, let's take a look at how it plays.
Indeed. Right, well, I've set one up here.
Yep.
You get a random starting tile there, vowel. Each person starts off with two vowels, 2 consonants. I mean, I've set the tiles out like this on the table so that people can see how it works better. In the actual game, you would have your tiles
hitting away from
like that, facing towards you, so your opponent doesn't know what you've got. But for ease of explanation, we'll have the tiles like that. So this player is going to go first. They'll look at the tiles and they're trying to create a word. And a simple one would be to add the W to the E to make the word we. Now, very simple scoring system. For each yellow tile in your word, you get 1 point. For each blue tile, 2 points. Red tile, 3 points. Purple tile, 4 points. So this particular word has a basic score of 3 for the red and 1 for the yellow, giving 4. And then where this game differs from a lot of others is you are rewarded for a longer word. So you multiply your score by the number of letters in the word.
Okay.
So it's got a value of 4 multiplied by 2,
you get 8
so you would score 8 points. And then you would draw a tile from the bag to replenish your hand, consonant or vowel, entirely up to you. So I've just put the score on the score pad. Moves to the next player, they look at what's on the board and think, I will add a D to the word. So we've got wed, but where this game becomes different is you can actually try and get words in other directions. So in this particular case, you've got wed reading left to right, you've got dew reading right to left. So you would score 3 for the red, 1 for the yellow, 2 for the blue to give you 6. multiplied by the 3 letters in the word, 18. And then you would also score 18 back the other way for do, which would give you a total score of 36. And that would be a very, very good second word to have played.
Yeah.
So we move back to the first player, and they're looking at the board, and they're going to add an O to the start of the word. So we've now got the word ode. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, score of 7, multiplied by 4, because there's 4 letters in the word, very nice score of 28. They would replenish the hand.
And you get a word the other way around as well.
In that particular case,
oh no, that's a W. You see,
that's because you're sitting upside. No, you're upside down.
Yes.
The beauty of the game is when you're playing, of course. Very small board, so you turn it around to face yourself anyway. But I mean, obviously, yes, you would look to see if you could create something with the W. So, next player. Now, at this point, you're going to play that letter. People often sort of do mixed up with a certain other game. This game, very much, you're playing in diagonals as well as lefts and rights and tops to bottoms. And also, you can place a letter creating a word that isn't a real word. It doesn't matter, you're just simply not going to be able to score for that. So in this particular case, you're going to score 2 points in the word, 2 letters, giving him 4 points. Moving on, and this particular player now, look at what they can place, and he's going to play the O there to create do. Gives him 2 plus 1 for 3 points, multiplied by 2 for 6. And then the final one in the demonstration, this particular player is going to play the N to there. That gives them a very nice score. They've got 10, reading down that way, 1 plus 1 plus 1. Multiplied by 3 for 9. Going back the other way, N-E-T for net,
so
another 9. On, reading that way for 4 points. No, back the other way for 4 more points, which will give them a score of 26 for that particular play. And that's almost all the rules of the game. It plays until all 49 squares are filled on the board, at which point whoever has got the most points wins the game.
I'm very curious about something. What made you go for a small board instead of going for a longer board with longer words?
The way the game develops anyway, it does have different phases to the game. The longer the game goes on, the more you're having to look around the edges. In the early part of the game, you're looking for these really nice long diagonals and things like that. As it goes on, you get a different feel to the game where you're trying to create things on the outside edges. We could have made the board bigger. I don't think it would have added a great deal to how the game plays. It plays very, very nicely in about 40 minutes, which
that's pretty good.
We find is a really nice length of game for a family to play a game like this. You can play it with up to 4 players. With 2 players, you can whip through the game in 30 minutes, and it's, you know, you can then play another game with no trouble at all.
I mean,
works really well.
Yeah, it does, and I have to say, as words game go, the simplicity of the whole rule system and the flexibility of being able to create words in 2 different directions and more than 1 word at a time and so on and so forth, that to me is absolutely brilliant. I really like it. Is this game out? How can people get hold of it?
Right, well, I mean, as with all our games, it can be found on the Ragnar Brothers website. www.ragnarbrothers.co.uk. It can be obtained at very, very soon at a lot of the games outlets around the country.
Okay, that's excellent.
And very nicely, I'm hoping that Paco, who is a big man in the world of educational demonstrations, talks, things like that, who goes around a lot of the courses around the country, he's very keen on the fact that 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, very, very good for them because it's got a simplicity that perhaps other games haven't got.
No, I can see that doing very, very well in schools, I have to say. So I really like it, which is coming from a dyslexic, that is quite some praise, even if I got the W wrong. Best of luck with it. I
Thank you.
really hope you will do fantastically well, and I look forward to seeing it in every single shop out there. That'll be fantastic.
Right.
Well done.
Thank you for talking about it.
Pleasure.